The Friendship War, Chapter 4 Discoveries. We're walking into the cafeteria Monday after social studies, and Ellie says, "How come you didn't tell me about your trip to Massachusetts? Did you go to see your grandfather? I remember you went for your grandmother's funeral last summer, right?" Because I still haven't told Ellie anything about my trip. I had started to back on the first day of school, but she doesn't remember that. Before I can answer, Taylor comes up to us, and then lunch happens, and Ellie doesn't mention my trip again the whole rest of the day. Which makes me wonder, does she actually want to know or actually care? Maybe the question Ellie meant to ask me is, who else did you tell about your trip? Because Ellie hates being left out. Newsflash, everyone hates that. It's almost bedtime, and I send 6 images from my phone to Mrs. Casey's school email address. Choosing the pictures to share up on the whiteboard tomorrow was easy. The mill building, the river behind it, the huge gears and drive shafts in the basement, views of the mill's office with all the cubby holes and built-in desks, and then some pictures of the large open spaces where the women and men worked at their machines or tables. But there aren't any pictures of Grandpa or me at the mill. Those are private. I load the things I found back into the same canvas shopping bag Grandpa gave me, except for the buttons. I had scooped some into my bag when we were at the mill, and now those are in a blue glass jar on my dresser to remind me how I found them with Grandpa. 'Cause those buttons are different from the ones that arrived on the pallet, and they're not for sharing. I'm not sure I should take any buttons at all. I'd have to drag out a box and then put it away again. It'd be a lot of messing around just to show the class some buttons. Down in the kitchen, I'm halfway through a cup of yogurt when I decide that buttons are a part of the story, part of the mill's last chapter as a clothing factory. And really, all I have to do is open the top box on the stack in my closet. So I take a plastic sandwich bag upstairs. I open my closet, shove some clothes aside, tear the tape off the box, pull back the flaps, and drop a handful of small gray buttons into the bag. Except the buttons aren't gray or small, they're bright yellow and almost an inch across. And a theory jumps into my mind. At the mill, the buttons must have been organized by color. And 3 boxes I opened were all from the gray section. It takes me 30 minutes to move, open, and label each box of buttons. And my theory is correct. Not only do I own small gray ones, but I also have buttons that are red, green, pink, lavender, yellow, black, brown, amber, blue, and white, all different sizes too, from bigger than a quarter to smaller than a pea. My discovery, 3 of the boxes are filled with all the leftover and mismatched and fancy buttons. So many different kinds. There are buttons made of glass, shell, brass, wood, plastic, pewter, leather, and other materials I don't recognize. I've got buttons that look like diamonds and pearls and roses and daisies, buttons in the shape of hearts and triangles and squares and stars and dogs and horses and cats and butterflies and snowflakes, on and on and on. I want to dump all 3 of the mixed boxes onto my floor and then sort the buttons by shape and size and color and design and material, and especially to count them. I could even put all the information into a graph or a table. Really look at the data. But this is not the right time to become a button expert. My job now is to get ready for social studies tomorrow.